Death. It affects us all at some point in life. But what is it really? How does the soul transition from the physical body to the spirit realm, and what does it do once it's there?
(1851 to 52), typhus epidemic, 1853 to 54, the third cholera epidemic, and we've got this one which came up quite a lot. It's nostalgia, and in the burial books it's got it in brackets, it's died of a broken heart. After we die, basically what happens to your body, you get decomposition.
I don't actually follow any religion.
I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I'm not atheist as well. I think there is something there.
Well, I'm actually one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
I'm a Christian.
I'm very religious.
After you die, it says you go to heaven.
Well, the Bible's interest in life after death starts in the Old Testament, where people believed that simply what happened was that you met God. The Bible tells Christians that we're made up of three parts: body, mind, and spirit. But most of all, the Bible teaches us something that is quite important. Christians believe that death is something that has been conquered by Jesus in his resurrection. It is an enemy, and only through his power was that enemy finally defeated, and by faith in him we can become involved in that new life that he offers us.
Me personally, I think there is somewhere else we go to in a spiritual plane. I've had examples of kind of coincidences, if you like, people call it, but my niece, when she was coming in here when she was 3.5, used to come in to do research on some of the headstones in the cemetery, and there's one incident when she was only 3.5, she told me when I was researching a stone up in one of the rows in the central section, she said there was a man wanting to talk to me, and I turned round expecting to see somebody standing there, and I couldn't see anybody standing in the row. I said, I can't see anybody. She said, no, the man's standing there, he's wearing a hat, and she signed her hands going up as if he was wearing a top hat. So there is that aspect of it for the spiritual, and I think it's quite nice to think that way.
Well, I believe you go to heaven, and I believe you live eternally.
I think once you die, and that's the end.
After we die, I think there is an afterlife. Not really sure what it is, but I believe we all go somewhere and probably get reunited with your family for all generations back.
When people die, they're conscious of nothing. We don't believe you go to heaven or hell or anything like that. We believe when you die, you just die. But we also believe in a future time period where people will be resurrected.
It gives great liberty that you can say there is more to this life than what we see. It's the message of hope that's the most important one that you can preach. We teach that the hardness of God is much softer than the softness of man, that God is our loving Father, and those who are willing to ask forgiveness will be given life. The afterlife, it's something I look forward to. I have been with people, obviously, at the moment of death and just before, and that has been an extremely moving experience. One gentleman who was a very strong believer, I remember, and he kept saying, why don't they open the door? Why don't they open the door? And I was with him when he died, and he died lit up. He was obviously experiencing a welcome, and for me that was extremely affirming, And what I look forward to is seeing people again in some form or another that I have seen in this life.
So now we understand death and the afterlife a little better. Maybe we don't need to fear it as much. At the end of the day, it is part of nature and we will all die physically but not spiritually.